Hi, it's Nick from the Run Testers, and this is our first run review of the Nike React Infinity Run 2. Begin with the key specs of the shoe, starting with the price, which is $139.95 in the UK and $160 in the US. The shoe has a 9mm drop from heel to toe in the men's version, and the women's that drop is slightly lower at 8.4mm. And it's got quite a high stack. It's 24mm at the heel in the men's and just over 22mm in the women's. It's also a reasonably heavy shoe. It's 303 grams in my UK size 9. That's 10.7 ounces. That's kind of fair enough for what is designed to be a everyday training shoe. So the design of the shoe hasn't changed a huge amount kind of underfoot from the first edition. Really all the key changes I found in the upper of the shoe, which a lot of people had a problem with the first version. Actually, I personally didn't. I found I had a reasonably good fit with the upper in the Infinity Run 1, but in the 2 you're getting a much more secure fit around the heel in particular. There's a lot more padding around the collar. Nike has put the fly wire laces in around the lacing and the midfoot to give you a lockdown fit there. There's more padding on the tongue, and there's generally a bit more structure in certain areas where you want it to kind of hold the foot in place, correctly on the run. So I think if you were unhappy with the up in the first one, all these changes will kind of be welcome. Underfoot, what you're really getting is a lot of the same stuff. It's it's a big stack of Nike's React cushioning. I've always been quite a big fan of this foam. I know some people don't like it, but it is reasonably responsive. Obviously, it's very durable and it is comfortable. This is a shoe built with a few stability features in mind. This clip that runs all the way around the shoe, this kind of plastic clip, is kind of keep your foot, your heel in place correctly as you're running. And it's also really wide, incredibly wide, especially in the toe box. Again, just to give you a nice stable base when you're racking up a lot of miles in training. I guess it's to give you some of those stability features without being a full-on stability shoe. So just generally making sure you're not, flopping around during your training. There's also a kind of fairly exaggerated rocker in the shoe. As you can see, it's kind of a bit lower at the back here. The idea is to kind of roll you through your foot strike. And again, just to try and be smooth, comfortable for lots of long training runs. On the outsole, there's a little bit more rubber than there was on the first edition, which, to be honest, was really noted for how durable it was. So a little bit more rubber adds a little bit more grip, and durability is clearly going to be a big star feature of the shoe, which is good because it is quite expensive at £140. So really, kind of every element of the shoe screams what its purpose is, which is to rack up a lot of miles in kind of stable comfort without needing a new shoe. When it comes to the fit of the shoe, I am true to size in the Infinity 2 as I was in the Infinity 1. Despite that really wide kind of toe box, it does taper to the end, so although it is pretty roomy, it's not like as expansive as a Hoka or some of the kind of barefoot style shoes. And even though it is quite wide at the front, you do get quite a good tight lockdown fit around the midfoot, I found very easily. And the kind of new cushioning around the heel means that's more firmly held in place as well. So yeah, the fit for me was true to size, yeah, quite comfortable. So onto the run, and the run I did was my kind of classic start to the week, which is kind of an easy to steady hour kind of progression run, and then 8 strides at the end to kind of loosen up my legs ahead of tomorrow's kind of session. So I did a good range of paces with the shoe. So I started at kind of my real easy pace, kind of 420, 430 per K, and then brought it down throughout the hour to around 345 per K for the last kind of 10-15 minutes. And then obviously did those strides at kind of, pretty much all out pace, well, your quick pace, your strides pace. And yeah, it was reasonably impressive, I have to say, on the run. Like, the new upper is, is definitely very good. It is more comfortable, it is more secure. Like I said, I didn't really hate the upper on the first one like some people did, but this is definitely an improvement, even for someone like me. You're not getting a huge amount of bounce out of this shoe, it's definitely fair to say. The React foam, I'd say, really deadens kind of the impact of the road. You're not getting a great feel for the road either. It's really about protecting you, I guess. It's actually quite a quiet shoe as a result. I have a reasonably heavy footfall, and I'm quite quiet in the shoe, comparable to other shoes. It's really, you get quite a smooth roll through from that rocker and the foam. You're not getting a huge explosive toe off, anything like that. It really is a kind of smooth, protective shoe, and yeah, it's certainly very stable. Like, you are that big, wide, I think forefoot is probably more noticeable to me even than the kind of clip. I'd say the grip is really good. Today actually was a bit of a nightmare. Like, it snowed here yesterday, there's still a bit of it on the pavements. It wasn't still below zero here, but there was kind of some kind of frozen slushy stuff on the pavements. I didn't have a single slip or anything on the run. Grip was really good. And while this is a shoe that's really built for easy running, it wasn't terrible to run at kind of steady pace in. It's not a shoe I'm going to do any kind of sessions in. I don't think it is really built for kind of your slow, medium training paces. That kind of easy to steady run today is pretty much perfect for it. It was comfortable to run that last 15 minutes around kind of 6-minute miling. But I don't, tomorrow I'm doing my my speed session for the week, and I wouldn't want to have this on my foot. I want a bit more kind of bounce or a feel for the road. And I'm doing a kind of real speed session than you get from this shoe, which is, yeah, like I say, designed to be a kind of comfortable workhorse of a trainer. So it's always tricky to say too much about a shoe in a kind of early verdict after one run, but with this shoe there is actually a lot of stuff you can say, just because if you really liked the first one but hated the upper, then good news. The upper's been much improved and the ride is more or less the same, maybe with a little bit more grip underfoot. So it's obviously going to suit you very well. If you like the first one all round, I don't think you're going to be displeased with the upper changes on this shoe. It is, a nice upper. It's comfortable, it's cushioned, it's secure. Can't really argue about it. And if you've never come to the shoe before, then there's not a huge amount new to say. So obviously we'll put a lot more miles in. Both me and Kieran are going to test out this shoe and give you a kind of a full multi-test review after we've done kind of 50 miles in it. But for now, it does feel much the same to the original, which I did like. It's comfortable, but it's not giving you a great feel for the road. You're not getting a load of bounce out of it. It's just a comfortable, smooth shoe to run in and do a lot of miles in. And it looks like it's going to be just as durable, if not more durable, than the first edition. If you do kind of want a workhorse of a shoe with a bit more kind of pop in it, there are bounciest things out there. There's things like the Asics Nova Blast, which I'm finally getting around to testing a bit more this year, which has a bit more bounce in it. There's Saucony's Endorphin Shift we've just started testing. That's another really nice cruiser of an easy day shoe. There's a lot of really good shoes out there right now, which is going to make it a little bit harder for the Infinity React to stand out. It's got that kind of stability stuff going on, which is quite important for some people. I certainly wouldn't have a problem using it as my main easy day shoe, but I do think it's not particularly versatile, unlike some options are. Saucony's Triumph line traditionally being a bit faster for me. I actually think Nike's Pegasus, which also uses React foam, the latest edition, the 37, is a more versatile shoe probably than the original the original Infinity React, and I suspect it might be similar here. And that's a lot cheaper as well. So it's another shoe kind of entering quite a crowded area of the marketplace, which is that kind of workhorse daily trainer. I don't think it's a do-it-all shoe. I wouldn't want to be racking up a lot of speed sessions in this or racing in it. But, for its role, it should be quite a good shoe. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more kind of easy miles in it, and the upper has been improved, so that's a big tick from Nike. But yeah, there is a lot of competition in this area, so I think it'll be interesting to see how I rate it kind of after 50 miles compared to some of my favourites like the Pegasus 37 or the Brooks Glycerin, a very comfortable shoe. Or even, actually, I use a Saucony Endorphin Speed for a lot of my easy runs just because it is a much more versatile shoe that you can then use for speed sessions as well, while still being comfortable enough for easy stuff. One other shoe that will be a factor in how kind of popular the Infinity ends up being is Nike's new ZoomX Invincible, which is a high stack cushioned training shoe using Nike's kind of top ZoomX foam, the stuff that's in the Alphafly and the Vaporfly. Nike has put some of that foam in training shoes in the past, but they've always paired it with React foam. But this is going to be a full ZoomX midsole in a training shoe. Should be very bouncy, very springy, very comfortable. So that'll be interesting. We're going to get that shoe and obviously try and compare it to the Infinity and see which we kind of prefer as a kind of workhorse daily trainer. We'll say this is good. Obviously, the Infinity is likely to be more stable, probably going to be more durable, but there's a decent chance the Invincible will be more fun to run in with all that bounce underfoot. That's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching our first run review of the Nike React Infinity Run 2. I've definitely said that name wrong several times in this review. There's not much you can do about it. There's too many words in that name. Please like and subscribe, ring the little bell, and you'll get notified when we release videos, including kind of our full multi-test review, which will be coming down the line when me and Kieran have had a chance to put a lot more miles into the shoe. And we'll let you know then what we think of it in our full verdict. See you next time.